Let me ask you something real. Have you ever found yourself lying in bed late at night, staring at your phone, and suddenly feeling this deep wave of regret? Not because you did something terrible, but because you didn't really do anything at all. You didn't live your day, you just passed through it.
Yeah, it's like you're watching your own life happen from a distance. You promised yourself yesterday and the day before, and probably last month too. Tomorrow, I'll finally do that thing. But then morning comes and you wake up tired. Instead of starting your day with purpose, you grab your phone, scrolling through endless videos, liking random photos, answering messages that could easily wait.
Exactly. And as the minutes slip away, you feel this quiet anxiety building up inside you. Because deep down, you know this isn't the life you truly want. But somehow you can't seem to stop.
And it's scary because suddenly days become weeks, weeks become months. And one day you look back and realize that you spent months, maybe years, just waiting for the right moment, the right motivation, the right feeling. That never comes.
If you felt this before, I want you to pause for a second right now and just breathe. Because you're not alone in this. And you're not broken, you're human. And sometimes being human means we lose track of what matters. But the beautiful part is, once you notice it, you can begin again. And that's exactly why we're here.
Hey friends, welcome back to Let's English Together, a podcast where we talk openly about the real things we all go through, struggles, dreams, fears, habits, and help you speak English naturally while doing it. We're not teachers here, just friends having conversations that we hope make your life a little clearer, a little calmer.
I'm Simon. I've spent years helping learners around the world feel confident in English. But honestly, I still struggle every single day with being present, being focused, and making time for things that really matter. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm here to share what I've learned, and hopefully we can grow together.
And I'm Monis. I'm just like you. I overthink, I worry, and sometimes I waste too much time on things that don't matter. But recently, I've started to wake up to the fact that every minute matters, even the ones we spend doing nothing. I'm here to explore this journey with you so we can both become a little more awake, a little more alive.
Here's something to gently think about. Your life isn't made of big, dramatic events. Your life is made of small, ordinary moments. How you spend these small moments is how you spend your life.
A famous Zen teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, once said, "The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it's the door to all other moments." But how often do we ignore that present moment? How often are we lost in distractions, worries, or regrets?
The truth is, we don't waste time because we're lazy. We waste time because we're afraid. Afraid of discomfort, afraid of failure, afraid of not being good enough. And distractions, our phones, social media, endless entertainment become easy escapes. Because every scroll, every like, every new video gives our brain a quick hit of dopamine, that little feel-good chemical that makes us want more. It's not that we're lazy. It's that our brain starts craving the next little reward, and suddenly hours go by and we don't even know what we were avoiding in the first place. But the good news, once you recognize this, you start to regain control.
So today, in a very honest, gentle, and realistic way, we'll share some simple ideas about how to reclaim your time, not through force or guilt or complicated routines, but by becoming more mindful, more aware, and more kind to yourself.
And later, our friendly AI assistant, Susie, will break down 2 practical, everyday English phrases that relate to managing time. Plus, if you want extra support, There's a free PDF in the description. Something simple, gentle, and useful to help you reflect on today's episode.
If you're ready, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's gently explore how we can stop wasting our precious moments and start truly living them.
Let's do this together. Let's stop wasting time and let's English together. Tip 1. Gently notice your distractions. A few months ago, I tried something that made me pretty uncomfortable, and I took a notebook and I wrote down honestly how I spent my day. Every time I opened my phone, every time I clicked a video or checked a notification, I wrote it down.
That sounds tough, like a reality check you didn't ask for.
Exactly. And it was uncomfortable. But after a few hours, something interesting happened. I realized I wasn't choosing these distractions. They were choosing me. Every notification felt urgent, every video felt necessary, and suddenly my time disappeared.
You know, there's a powerful quote from psychologist Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. In other words, until you notice what's distracting you, you'll always feel like time just vanishes mysteriously.
So, tip number 1 is simple, gentle awareness. Today, just gently notice. What's distracting me? Not with judgment, not with guilt. Just quiet, calm observation. Because awareness itself is the beginning of change.
Tip 2. Start small, but start now. The gentle 5-minute rule. I used to have this habit of thinking, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll finally exercise. Tomorrow I'll start journaling or meditating or whatever. But tomorrow kept becoming another tomorrow.
Yeah, that feeling of starting tomorrow feels safe because it keeps us from discomfort right now. But deep down, it's exhausting because every tomorrow carries the burden of yesterday's unfulfilled promises.
One day, I read a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he suggested something tiny but powerful. Just do something for 5 minutes. Only 5. If you hate it after 5 minutes, you stop. No guilt.
Did it work for you? Strangely,
Yes. Because 5 minutes felt so easy, I couldn't really say no. And every time, once I started, I kept going naturally. Psychology says our brain fears starting more than doing. Once we start, momentum carries us forward.
That's tip 2, friends. Don't commit to big goals right away. Just say gently, let me start for 5 minutes and then see. You'll be surprised how kind and powerful this small change can be. Tip 3. Your environment shapes your choices. Can I tell you something embarrassing? I used to wake up every day and promise myself, today I won't scroll through social media first thing. But my phone was always right by my pillow, so every morning I reached for it automatically.
Honestly, same here. It's like the environment itself decides for us, right?
Exactly. Psychologist BJ Fogg says something beautiful. Design beats willpower, meaning you don't have to rely on being strong or motivated all the time. Just create an environment where doing the right thing is easier.
Yeah, just like if you leave cookies on the table, you'll eat cookies. If you leave your phone right next to you, you'll check your phone. But if you leave your English book open on the table or your workout clothes ready on your chair, you'll naturally gravitate towards them.
Friends, tip 3 is gentle but deeply powerful. Shape your environment to help you. Put helpful things in plain sight. Hide away distractions. You don't have to fight yourself. Just gently set yourself up to succeed.
Tip 4. You don't have to do this alone. One big reason we often lose track of our time is that we try to do everything alone. It feels safer sometimes, like no one will see if we fail.
But humans aren't wired that way. We naturally need connection, support. Even Albert Einstein had colleagues he talked to every day, people who gently held him accountable.
And you don't need to do big things alone. Find just one person you trust. Tell them, hey, can you check on me tomorrow to see if I studied English or if I finally cleaned my room? It's not pressure, it's gentle, kind accountability.
And when someone gently checks in on you, it tells your brain, oh, this matters. Someone cares. And suddenly your goals feel meaningful again. Tip 5. Reward yourself gently. Lastly, remember that life isn't a constant battle. Every small step you take matters deeply, and you deserve to feel good about every small success.
Neuroscience shows that when you reward yourself gently, your brain learns to associate good habits with pleasure. It's like planting little seeds of joy.
After studying English or doing something you've avoided, reward yourself. Make tea, watch your favorite show, listen to music, buy yourself a small treat. Celebrate these tiny moments because your brain loves kindness more than punishment.
And before we wrap up, we've got something special to help you use what you learned today in real life English. Because let's be honest, what's the point of learning if we can't actually use it, right?
So let's welcome back Susie, our gentle, slightly robotic, but very helpful assistant who will break down 5 everyday English phrases related to time and how we use it or waste it.
Hello, friends. Susie here. Today I've got 5 super useful phrases you can use when talking about time, especially when it comes to how we spend it, or sometimes waste it. And don't worry, I'll also tell you when you can actually use them in real life. Phrase 1, lose track of time. This one's for those moments when you're doing something and you just kind of forget time exists. Maybe you're watching YouTube, talking with a friend, or deep in a book, and suddenly hours are gone. You can say, I totally lost track of time while cooking. Phrase 2, time flies. This one's great when time feels like it went by really fast. You thought you had more of it. But nope, it's gone. Try this. Wow, it's already Friday? Time flies. Phrase 3, procrastinate. Oof, this one hits close to home. It means you're putting something off. You know you should do it, but you just don't. We all do it, no shame. For example, I always procrastinate when it comes to cleaning. Phrase 4, better late than never. This is what you say when someone finally does something, even if it took them a while. It's like saying, hey, at least you did it. Like this. You finally replied to my message. Better late than never. Phrase 5, time well spent. This one's for those days when you actually feel good about how you used your time. Maybe you rested. Maybe you got something done. Whatever it was, it mattered to you. You could say, spending time with my grandma this weekend was definitely time well spent. So there you go. 5 little phrases that can help you talk about time like a real English speaker. Try using just one of them today, in a message, a voice note, or even just when talking to yourself. Remember, real fluency isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. You've got this. See you next time.
Thanks, Susie. Isn't it wild how just 5 little phrases can shift the way we see time?
Yeah. And maybe that's the real point of today. Time doesn't need a full system or a perfect plan. Sometimes it just needs us to pay attention.
So let's pause for a second and pull this all together. We talked about the kind of time we waste without realizing it. The kind lost in endless scrolling, background noise, or I'll do it tomorrow. But we also shared something better.
We shared how small actions, like writing things down, starting with just 5 minutes, changing your environment, or letting someone check in with you, can help you feel a little more alive, a little more here.
So here's your real life challenge. Nothing fancy, nothing to post, just something real you do for you. This week, pick one moment when you usually waste time, and instead, just for 5 minutes, do something different. Breathe, stretch, speak out loud, journal, wash one dish, read one page.
Then pause. Say to yourself, not sarcastically, not with pressure, that was time well spent. Feel what it's like to choose your moment instead of escaping it.
And if you're up for it, share with us. What did you trade your 5 minutes of distraction for, and how did that feel?
You don't have to change everything, but if you can reclaim 5 minutes, you're already changing something that matters.
Thanks for being here. Seriously, this space is different because you're in it. Let's stop wasting time. And let's English together.